What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Today I'm super excited because we are doing a full face of Five Below makeup. I just was at Five Below and I was checking out their makeup section and I was super impressed. They have so much stuff there and everything is of course under $5. And they had like full-on palettes and stuff. Like this looks really pretty. I was like, okay, we need to get this stuff. We need to do a full face. I did do a full face of Five Below makeup, I want to say about a year ago. I felt like the quality to me was similar to the stuff that I had purchased at like Dollar Tree, where at Dollar Tree the stuff is $1, where at Five Below most of their makeup products is $5. They have a couple stuff that's like $4 and $3, but a lot of it is at that $5 price point. So it was kind of like the same quality for 5 times the price as the dollar store stuff. But when I went in there today, I was actually really impressed. It seemed like they had a much bigger selection than the last time I had been in Five Below. So I picked up a lot of stuff and we're gonna do a full face testing it out today. I'm so excited. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you have not already and click the little bell right next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified of all of my future uploads. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so first things first, we have primer. This is the Rise and Prime Color Crow Universal Primer. So I have never heard of this brand before, but I'm excited to check it out. So yeah, comes in this nice kind of iridescent packaging. So let's open it up. And this guy was $3. I'm like ripping it apart and I'm like, oh, the price. But this was, I believe, the cheapest product that I got. Everything else was basically like $5, or I think we have a couple things that were $4. So this is what it looks like. It's like already coming out of the top here. So that's okay. It looks like it's just like a clear primer. So I'm gonna put that on. Ooh, it feels really silky actually. Get that hair to the back. Ooh, oh my gosh, this literally feels like Vaseline or something. It feels really nice and silky on the skin. I'm interested to see how foundation layers on top of this, but it feels very silky and very like slippery. So I'm kind of nervous about the foundation. Like I like to have like a nice canvas, but you also need your foundation to stick, where now I feel like my foundation is just gonna slide. Like my fingers are like sliding so much, but I mean, it feels really nice. So I'm gonna give it a second to just like set down and see if like maybe some of that slippiness kind of goes away. While we're letting that set down, we'll talk foundation. So unfortunately, the only foundation they had at Five Below was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. Obviously, I've used this before, and they did actually have the new dewy one too, but I used the new dewy one in my last 2 videos, so I was like, okay, I need a break from the dewy, so we'll go back to the original today. This is a great foundation, so I was actually excited to see Five Below have it. I wanted to find something from like another brand that I hadn't used before, but for a foundation and for the concealer, I had to get Wet n Wild. I don't think I've tried though the Wet n Wild. It says new on this concealer corrector. I know I've tried the Photo Focus concealer, but this one says new and then it adds corrector. So like maybe it's different, I don't know. But this is what I have to use for my complexion because none of the other companies had like complexion products there. But I was excited to see if they had the Photo Focus foundation because this is a great foundation. And I believe at Ulta it's like almost $7. It's like $6 and some change, where it's only $5 at Five Below. So I can't beat it. I think we're probably good. Oh yeah, okay, so the primer did set down a little bit, which is great. It's not super slippery, so I feel like we can apply our foundation on top. We are gonna be trying out something quite interesting to blend it. This is from Chic, I guess. I don't know how to say that. Pro Sponge Blender. So it's like a double-sided brush that has a sponge. So I'm gonna use this today to blend out our foundation and concealer. So it has like a pointy edge on one. Ooh, it's kind of rough. And then like a flat edge on the other. I don't know if you're supposed to dampen this. I'm gonna go dampen it because I feel like hopefully that'll like loosen it up a little bit because it's very hard. So I'll be right back. And this was $4, I believe. Okay, dampening it did make it a lot fluffier and a bit bigger, so I'm kind of excited. All right, so I'm gonna go in with Wet n Wild Photo Focus. This is the shade Golden Beige, and I'm gonna just apply this to my face. And if you guys want to see my thoughts on the new dewy version of this, I will link the video that I did just last week on the screen right now. But this is the original version because I figured you guys already saw the new one. All right, I'm gonna go in with the flat side actually to just like pounce it and kind of like buff it in, and then we'll use the pointed side if we need to get like any precise areas. It honestly feels much better than I had expected. Like it doesn't feel bad at all. It is a little hard, you know, it could be a little softer, but for $4, it's blending my foundation just fine. So I really can't complain about that. Another great affordable sponge is the Real Technique sponge. That one's pretty good. Normally I think like $6. So this one does come in at a lower price point than that. I would say the Real Technique one is probably a bit better and easier to use, but this one isn't bad. I just added a little bit more foundation just to build up that coverage. So I'm just blending that in now to build it up a little bit. Dampening the sponge may have like kind of sheared the foundation a little bit. I do normally dampen my beauty sponges, but I feel like maybe this one wasn't meant to be dampened. I'm not quite sure, but I mean, regardless, it's working, so I really can't complain. Have I tried better beauty sponges? Yes, but for $4, is this pretty good? Yes. I do always like to go into these tutorials like with an open mind, because just because a makeup product is a lot of money doesn't mean that it's going to be good. And you can absolutely slay on a budget, and I love to test out products that are affordable and see how they work. So I always do like to go in with an open mind. Alrighty, now for concealer, we're gonna jump in with this one again from Wet n Wild. This is the Concealer Corrector, and this is the shade Fair Neutral. And I'm gonna go in and apply this to my under eyes. That is pretty light, but don't worry, when we blend it, it'll be okay. I like a light and brightened under eye. They didn't have a huge shade selection, I will say that. Like, I feel like if you went to like a Walmart or something, they would likely have a bigger shade selection of Wet n Wild stuff. At least at my Five Below, there wasn't like a huge shade selection. I wanna say they had like 4 of these, where I feel like at Walmart they have a lot more than that. And this was $5. I'm just gonna put some in the center area of my face as well, just so we can balance out that brightness that we have underneath the eyes. Now to blend out the concealer, I'm gonna go in with the pointy side. I'll do it like down here first. Actually, I feel like on the chin, it's better to use this. We'll use the pointy side underneath the eyes. I've been using the Tati Blendiful for like everything since I've gotten it, so I'm like out of practice using beauty sponges now. And this is a little different because it's like on a stick. I feel like this moves a lot. You don't get a lot of like control with it, so I'm almost just gonna like hold it, not hold it the stick part, and that feels better to me for my under eyes because I can control exactly where it's going. For all over the face, it's not as important because it's obviously a bigger area, but you kind of want to control where your concealer is blended to. This concealer actually gives decent coverage. It's not a Tarte Shape Tape, you know, sort of coverage or anything, but it is covering up my under eye circles. So that's all that I can ask for. Another really great affordable concealer is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. You guys know if you watch my videos that I love that. And that used to be $5, is now $6. They don't have e.l.f. at Five Below, or at least not at mine, but they have it at like Target and Walmart and stuff. So that's another great affordable concealer that is very full coverage. And I would say that I probably prefer the e.l.f. concealer to this Wet n Wild one, but the Wet n Wild one isn't terrible. Okay, now to set all over the face, I have this LA Colors Loose Setting Powder. I know they have LA Colors a lot of times at Dollar Tree, but I've actually never seen this big like jar of loose setting powder, so I thought that was pretty good, and it was $2. I don't know if this little yellow sticker means it was on like clearance or something, but I thought it was a good price. And I got the shade Natural in this, because this is a pretty big like container of product. So pretty big. Let's open her up. Ooh, okay. Alrighty, well, looks like it has already, like the protective seal has come off. It does have a little puff in there. Alrighty, that's okay. That's probably why it was on clearance. I will pull back this thing that came off already. And that's okay. And I'll put some of this in the cap. All right, it looks kind of orangey, so I'm a little nervous. Put some on my finger. Okay, it blends out all right. I'm just going to apply this on top. It's not bad. It is a little bit orangey in undertone, but I think that's probably the color and not the you know, product itself's fault. But again, I didn't have a big shade selection. This was actually the only shade in this that they had. And I mean, it works, and for $2, it mattified my face pretty well. And because it is tinted, it did give me a little bit more extra coverage too. But it didn't make my skin look like super powdery or anything, so I actually can't complain. I've had actually good experiences with LA Colors. For the price, I think their stuff is normally pretty good. Okay, now for brows, I got this brow sculpting palette. So this was $4, and the brand on this is Color Co, so same brand as the primer was. So it comes with an eyebrow pencil, a spoolie, and 3 brow powders. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is actually kind of cool. We got a spoolie, we got a brow pencil, then there's a brow wax, a brow powder, and a highlight, which is actually really nice. So I'm gonna go in with the spoolie my brows into place, and then we'll go in with the pencil, and then we can also use the powder too, maybe like towards the front of our brow for a more natural look. So this is what the little pencil looks like. It is a small pencil, so just keep that in mind. It's not gonna last, you know, 100 years, but I'm just gonna sculpt out my brows with this. It definitely has like a waxy feel to it. There's like a lot of wax in the brow product itself, like in the pencil, so I don't think you would even need to go in with that extra brow wax, because this seems like it's got you covered. So I'm probably just gonna outline my brows with this and then fill in like any sparse areas, and I'll probably go in with the powder for the rest of the brow, because like when it's really waxy like that, it can look really like unnatural on your brows. Is unnatural a word? I don't know. But on the other side of the spoolie, there's a little brow brush, so I'll just go in with the powder to fill everything in, because that'll probably look a bit more natural. Yeah, I'm not really loving this brow product, to be honest with you guys. It's very warm toned, which is okay. It just is not what I like, and it's really sticky on my brows. Like, the waxiness is making it feel really sticky. But I feel like for $4, I would tell you to go get like the CoverGirl Micro Brow or the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. Like, you can get that for like a couple more dollars at like Walmart or something, and it would probably work better than this. Definitely is very orangey tint and really like a sticky kind of feel. But of course, we're gonna do the other brow with it. Yeah, I just definitely feel like there's better brow products for just a little bit more money that are like significantly better, and this color is just not doing me any favors. So this I would say probably skip on. You know what, we can go in with the highlight though. Let's see if that's any good. Maybe that'll salvage it a little bit. We'll go in the highlight right underneath. Ooh, the highlight is actually pretty. Okay, I mean, if I can say one positive, it's that the highlight is actually very pretty. I like that. Okay, come through with a little blinding brow highlight there. All right. So I don't mind that. It's just everything else I wasn't crazy about. I'm gonna put that in my inner corner too, just to make that pop in there. We do have a totally separate like eye palette, obviously, that we're gonna go in with, but that's really pretty. I like that. Okay. Okay, so for our eyes, we got the Smoke and Mirrors Essential Nudes 12 Nude Eyeshadow Palette. So you get 12 different shadows. Let's take this little clear plastic off. I will say definitely check your eyeshadow palettes, because I opened a bunch of these and a lot of them were broken, but this one wasn't. So check before you buy that what you're getting is not broken. I mean, you should do that everywhere. Five Below, Ulta, Sephora, literally anywhere, I would always check. But I thought that this looked really, really pretty. So we're gonna go in and we're first gonna use the shade Mesmerized. And I'm gonna go in my upper crease area and blend that. Okay, pigment. I like to see that. This was $5 too. I don't know if I said that already. So I didn't know how the pigment was gonna be, but so far that looks pretty good actually. All right, I see you, Five Below. Same thing on the other side. And so far it's blending pretty easily, especially for a matte shade. It's not like overly patchy or anything, so I can't complain. I think sometimes they have Smoke and Mirror products at Dollar Tree. I've never tried like this big eyeshadow palette or anything, but I feel like they might have a few of their products there. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I feel like I've seen their stuff before. Next, we're gonna jump into Goddess, and I'm gonna pop that in the actual crease. The other color I kind of put more so in the upper crease area. So Goddess, we're gonna keep down a little bit lower. And there's no mirror in this palette, so I'm just using like a hand mirror. But for $5, I can't complain. And this shade looks pretty pigmented as well. And they're blending and layering easy on top of each other. And Smoke and Mirrors had a lot of palettes at Five Below. So like if you don't like the colors in this one, they had a lot of other ones as well. There was a lot of options. They were all about $5 and all had about 12 different shades in them and had like different themes and stuff. So there was definitely a lot of options and probably something for everybody there. Now I'm gonna go in with this deep shade in Plum, and I'm gonna go in the outer corner with this and just build it up. I just have a tiny bit on the brush. Don't wanna go in with too much, and just build that up in that outer V area. It's called Plum, but it's a dark brown. I guess it has a little bit of purpley undertones, but I wouldn't, you know, it's not purple. It's definitely like a deeper brown shade. I'm just gonna bring that in slightly into the crease, but not all the way in there. These shadows are honestly like more pigmented and blend easier than I expected. Like I'm not really having too much difficulty working with them or anything, you know, because for 12 eyeshadow shades for $5, that's a, you know, a really good price. So I didn't really know what to think of the quality, but it's exceeding my expectations. Much better than the eyebrow pencil. And now with a smaller brush, I'm gonna mix together Goddess and Plum and go into my lower lash line and just buff that down in here. I'm using more Goddess than Plum because I don't want it to be too deep. I'm just blending everything together. And then all over my lid, I'm gonna go in with this shade right here in Lavish. I'm gonna use a flat top brush. I'm gonna spray it with some Fix Plus, but just water, anything will do just to get the brush a little bit damp. So that will hopefully help it adhere a little bit better to the eyes, since it is like a more shimmery shade. So I'm gonna just go in. Ooh, yes! Very pretty. I like this palette. I'm honestly very impressed with it. So I'm just gonna pack that all over the lid. Five Below this time is definitely exceeding the last time when I tried their stuff. I didn't hate it when I tried it last time. I just didn't really think it was much better than the dollar store. And obviously it is much more expensive when you're comparing something that's $1 versus $5. But this time I do really think these products, like especially this palette and stuff, is working really nicely. Okay, so I really like how this ended up coming out. This palette is actually pretty good. I mean, for the price, I thought that it worked really, really well. For lashes, I picked up these. So this brand is My Lash. They were $3. It says that they're 3D, but they don't really look very 3D. Let's take them out. It says they're 3D mink lashes. I don't know that I would necessarily consider those 3D mink, but maybe I'll change my mind once they're on my eyes. So, all right, so let's go ahead and pop these bad boys on. I'm just gonna get them really close to the lash line. They're easy to put on because they're pretty light. Not sure they're giving me the 3D mink effect, but they look pretty. All right, just popping this other one on. All right, so far not really seeing the 3D aspect of these lashes. They're like kind of mediocre if you ask me. For $3, I don't think that they're bad lashes, but I mean, they're trying to like market them as 3D faux mink, like, which to me then I think like long, fluffy, like layered, like big lash, which this is not that. I feel like they remind me of like the Wet n Wild lashes, which you can get for $1. So they're $2 cheaper, and these I feel like are kind of the same thing. I'm going to see what they look like though once I blend them in with my natural lashes with mascara. So I'm just gonna go in with the Wet n Wild Lash Renegade mascara to do that. I feel like the mascara is helping. This is a nice mascara actually. It has like that little ball in the end so you can really get in on your lower lashes. But I wouldn't necessarily tell you to like run to Five Below to buy these lashes. You can't live without them. I feel like lashes that are like $1 you can get at the dollar store are kind of the same as these, so I wouldn't waste the extra $2 on these ones. But they're not terrible. All right, now to finish up our face, I have this guy. I was really excited about this. This is Beauty Intuition Surreal Contour Palette. So this was $5, but this has a lot of different options in it. So as you can see, there's multiple different contour shades, multiple different highlights. There's even a blush in here. So I was like, all right, for $5, that's pretty good because it's basically an entire face palette. So I'm gonna take off the little plastic coating and we're gonna go in. So I'm gonna jump in with the shade Creme Brulee. This is the lightest bronzer in the palette. I'm gonna bronze all over my face with that. So I'm just going to bronze the face. It's honestly giving me good pigment even for the lightest shade. And what's nice is that there's a lot of variety. Like I feel like this would work for most skin tones because we have like light, medium, and kind of deep shades here. For bronzer, there is only one blush, just like this kind of pink blush, but I feel like that could probably work for a lot of skin tones as well. So I do like that there's lots of versatility with this palette. The bronzer is looking pretty good actually. I'm gonna jump in with the next shade darker bronzer to contour. This is the shade Gorgeous. And I'll just sculpt out my cheeks with this. They are all matte, the bronzers, so there's no shimmer or anything to them. And I'll sculpt out my nose as well. I feel like I should have used the lightest bronzer on my nose. It's a little dark, but we'll blend it. Whenever you overdo it on the nose contour, just go in with a clean, fluffy like eyeshadow blending brush and just blend that out. And it'll look better. I do this a lot, clearly. Then we're gonna jump in with the blush. Shade on the blush is Rose Bouquet. And I'm gonna just pop that on my cheeks. There's actually really nice pigment with this palette. Like it's not like dry and patchy and stuff. Because sometimes like lower end, like cheaper makeup can be really dry, like the powder products like this, but this really isn't. Like it's nice, it's gliding on my skin, it has pigment, so I can't complain. And $5 for all these different shades is pretty good. I mean, we have to see how the highlighters work, because you guys know that's my favorite highlight. So for highlight, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix together Porcelain, which is this lighter shade, and then do a little bit of Radiant as well, just so it's not too light. So I'm gonna do a little mixeroo of both and go on my cheeks. Ooh, okay. All right. That's actually really, really pretty. I see you, Five Below, with the face palette. Is it the most blinding highlight in the world? No, but it's honestly very, very pretty. I can't complain about it at all. Let's see if we can really like build it. Yeah, you can definitely build it up. Like the more I apply, the more blinding it becomes. Like that's a good highlight. So I cannot complain. I'm gonna bring it down my nose as well, above my cupid's bow. All right, now for our lips, we're gonna go in with the Mega Liquid Catsuit lipstick from Wet n Wild, and this is the shade Missy and Fierce. So it's a nice red, looks very pretty. They had a lot of the Wet n Wild liquid catsuits there. So lots of different options for colors. I wanna say this was $4. It might've been $5 though. It's either $4 or $5. I have never tried this shade and it's very, very pretty. But typically their liquid catsuit lipsticks are pretty good because you can see they're very pigmented. They also did have a lot of like gift sets where you could get like multiple liquid lipsticks too. So if you need like a last minute gift for somebody, that would also be great. They had a lot of nice like gift sets there. This is such a pretty color. I love it. It's been a second since I've done like a red lip. I've been doing nude like so often recently, but I like a little change. So this does dry down to be completely matte, but I did get a lip gloss to try on top. This is from Smoke and Mirror, so the same brand that did the eyeshadow palette. And this is the Prismatic Glow Iridescent Lip Gloss. I thought it looked really pretty. Although I will say, looking at it, I didn't notice this when it was in the packaging. it's only filled to here. Like this whole area has absolutely nothing, which is kind of weird. So I don't know what happened there. Like, was it supposed to be filled up to the top? Why is it only filled up like 3/4 of the way? We'll try it anyways. So that's kind of weird. Ooh, it looks pretty though. Has lots of glitter in it. Once I actually put the doe foot in, it like spreads up. So not sure if that had something to do with it, but that's interesting. It looks pretty though. And this one was $2. I feel like this look is giving me such holiday vibes with like the red glitter lips, but it's super pretty. I actually really like how it came out. And everything I got cost me like 36 bucks. So for a full face, I mean, that would be literally like one item at Sephora. And I do think this look came out nice. But were there products I didn't love? Yes. I didn't love the eyebrow product. I didn't love the lashes, but overall, I actually think the look came out pretty good for the price, and I really can't complain. So let me know what you guys think down below. And if you guys have any favorites you've tried from Five Below before, definitely let me know in the comments as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.